Welcome to the English Code channel. Today we'll explain how to hire a taxi and how to ask for directions so you can learn English fluently and easily. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue providing content.
The ability to communicate effectively in a new language isn't just about knowing words. It's about mastering an entirely new way of thinking and interacting with the world. Today we're diving into the often overlooked complexities of everyday English conversations because, well, they hold the key to truly unlocking fluency.
That's a profound statement, and it really resonates. So many people focus on vocabulary and grammar, but they miss the subtle, almost invisible layers of communication that native speakers navigate effortlessly. It's like knowing all the notes but not understanding the rhythm of the song.
Exactly right. We often encounter situations that seem straightforward, like hailing a taxi, but they quickly reveal a surprising depth of linguistic negotiation. It's never just a simple transaction. It's a dynamic exchange requiring adaptability and nuanced understanding.
That's absolutely true. There's always a potential curveball. Construction, unexpected traffic, or even just needing to be dropped off at a very specific entrance within a larger complex. Suddenly, that simple interaction becomes a mini test of your quick thinking and, crucially, your language skills.
We actually have a perfect little scenario that illustrates this. A dialogue about hiring a taxi and asking for directions. It's deceptively simple on the surface, but packed with these real-world challenges that highlight what true fluency demands.
I'm ready for it. I can already imagine the scene, the bustling city, the yellow cab pulling up to the curb.
So the driver starts, "Good afternoon, where to?" And the passenger responds, "Hi, I'm headed to the Grand Plaza Hotel. Do you know the quickest way there?"
That's a smart opening. The passenger immediately establishes the destination and asks for efficiency, inviting a solution rather than just stating a fact.
Then the driver introduces the first wrinkle. "I do, but there's some heavy construction on the main highway. It might take about 20 minutes. The passenger, clearly on a tight schedule, immediately counters, "Oh, I see. Is there a shortcut through the side streets? I have a meeting starting soon."
That's a great example of providing context. The passenger isn't just asking for a shortcut. They're explaining why it's urgent, which helps the driver understand the priority.
The driver, being helpful, offers a trade-off. "I can take the back roads, but it's a bit bumpy. Should I go for it?" The passenger, prioritizing time, agrees. "Yes, please. Also, could you drop me off right at the side entrance? I'm not sure where the lobby is."
That's another layer of complexity, asking for a specific drop-off and admitting unfamiliarity. The driver then gives clear directions. "No problem. Once I pull over, just head through the glass doors and turn left. You can't miss it."
The interaction concludes with the payment. "Perfect. How much do I owe you for the ride?" The driver states, "That'll be $22.50. And the passenger generously replies, "Here is $25. Keep the change." The driver's final thanks, "Have a productive meeting," wraps it up perfectly.
It's a complete, polite, and efficient interaction. What strikes me is how much of it relies on more than just knowing words. It's about understanding implications, making quick decisions, and using common phrases that aren't always literal. "You can't miss it" is a prime example.
That's a great point. It doesn't mean it's physically impossible to miss. It means it's very obvious. And for someone learning English, these kinds of interactions can be incredibly daunting. They might know all the individual words, but putting them together, understanding the rhythm, the implied meanings, that's the real challenge.
It's why just memorizing vocabulary lists often leaves learners feeling stuck. They have the bricks, but not the blueprint for the house.
Which brings us perfectly to the second part of our discussion today, the key factors to improve English fluency rapidly. Because this dialogue, as simple as it seems, is a fantastic blueprint for applying these very techniques.
I'm eager to dive into these. Because if you want to speak like a native speaker quickly, it's not about magic, it's about method. And these 4 pillars really highlight that.
The first one is something we probably do without thinking, but for learners, it's a huge hurdle. Mastering word linking or connected speech. Native speakers don't articulate every single word distinctly. We slide them together.
Oh, this is massive. We connect sounds, we drop sounds, we change sounds. Drop me off becomes drop me off. Or how much do I becomes how much do I. It's not just laziness, it's efficiency.
And if you don't master this, even if your grammar and vocabulary are perfect, you'll sound unnatural. You'll sound like you're speaking word by word, which makes it harder for native speakers to understand you because they're expecting that connected flow.
It's the music of the language. If you're playing all the notes individually without any legato, it doesn't sound like a song. It sounds like a series of isolated sounds.
So for learners, it's about actively listening for those connections and trying to reproduce that exact sound. It's less about understanding the rules of why it happens and more about developing the muscle memory to make it happen.
That's a great way to put it. It's about training your mouth and ear to work together.
Now let's try a quick practice problem. How would a native speaker typically pronounce, "What are you doing?" Think about the connected speech.
Most likely it would sound something like, "What you doing?" or "What are you doing?" The T often becomes a cheech or D sound, and the air and you blend.
Exactly. The second pillar is to focus on chunks, not words. Instead of memorizing "oh" or "change," memorize the whole phrase. How much do I owe you? Or keep the change.
This is a game changer. Your brain retrieves these phrases much faster than it tries to build sentences from scratch. It's like having prefabricated Lego blocks instead of individual bricks.
It also helps with intonation. When you learn keep the change as a chunk, you learn the natural rhythm and stress of that phrase. If you're building it word by word, you might stress it unnaturally.
This is why immersion is so powerful. You're constantly exposed to these chunks. You hear them, you absorb them, and then you start to reproduce them without even consciously breaking them down.
So for learners, it's about actively listening for these common phrases and writing them down as units, not breaking them apart. You can't miss it is a chunk. Have a productive meeting is a chunk.
Absolutely. And then practicing using those chunks in context, not just repeating them in isolation, but trying to weave them into your own sentences.
The third technique, and this one sounds a bit unconventional, is the shadowing technique. Listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say while they are saying it. Don't wait for them to finish.
That while they are saying it part is crucial. It's not just repetition, it's like being an echo. You're trying to match their rhythm, their speed, their intonation, their pauses, their stresses, all in real time.
It forces your brain to engage in a completely different way. You're not just processing the meaning, you're processing the sound. You're mimicking the physical act of speaking, training your mouth and vocal cords.
It's like a musician learning a new piece. They don't just read the notes, they listen to a master playing it and try to match the phrasing, the dynamics, the feeling. Shadowing is the linguistic equivalent.
It helps you internalize the natural flow and cadence of the language, which is often what makes a non-native speaker sound foreign, even if their grammar is perfect.
And finally, the fourth pillar, and this one for me, is the most uncomfortable but also the most powerful. Record and review.
Oh, the dreaded self-recording. Nobody likes the sound of their own voice, especially when they're trying to speak a new language. But it is, as our notes say, a superpower for fast learners.
That's so true. The instruction is simple. Record yourself reading the dialogue above on your phone. Listen back to it. You will notice mistakes in your own pronunciation that you didn't hear while speaking.
This happens because when you're speaking, your brain is so focused on formulating the message that it can't simultaneously act as an objective listener. You're hearing what you intend to say, not always what you actually say.
But when you listen back, you're no longer in performance mode. You become the audience. And suddenly those dropped S's sounds, those mispronounced vowels, those awkward pauses, they jump out at you.
And that self-correction mechanism is invaluable. Because once you hear it, you can't unhear it, and then you can consciously work on fixing it. It's iterative improvement.
It builds self-awareness, which is critical in any skill development. You can't fix what you don't know is broken.
So, when you combine all four of these, actively listening for and practicing word linking, learning and using language in chunks, shadowing native speakers to get the rhythm and intonation, and then recording yourself to objectively identify and correct your mistakes, that's a powerful toolkit.
It really is. It shifts the focus from just accumulating words to actively shaping how those words sound and flow together. It's about moving from understanding the rules of the language to mastering its performance.
And the beauty of it is that you can apply these techniques to almost any piece of English content, A podcast, a movie scene, a news report, or even a simple taxi dialogue like the one we started with. Every interaction becomes a learning opportunity.
Exactly. It's not about finding some magical new textbook. It's about changing how you interact with the language you're already exposed to. It's about being an active participant in your own learning.
So, as we close out today's show, remember these 4 pillars. Master word linking, focus on chunks, practice shadowing, and record and review. These aren't just academic exercises, they are practical, proven pathways to sounding more natural and confident in English.
Absolutely. Fluency isn't just about avoiding errors, but about sounding effortless. And these techniques are designed to get you closer to that effortlessness.
It's about sounding like you belong in the conversation, whether you're asking for a shortcut or just saying, keep the change. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of language.